Hello, I'm here at the Greenbuild conference with Joe Rozza, Chief Sustainability Officer for Ryan Companies. Thanks for being here with me,
Yeah,
Joe.
that's good. I'm based in Atlanta. The company's based in Minneapolis, but yeah, it's good to be with you, Therese. Yeah.
Um, Joe, sustainability is not new, but it's certainly gaining a lot of momentum. What are some of the new trends you're seeing in design and construction that are moving the needle?
Yeah, well, I think I always like to start with just explaining the difference between what's going on with sort of the politics of sustainability and what's going on in the market, because those are really two fundamentally different things. So, everybody's aware of what I think the sort of the political dialogue on sustainability is. There's folks that are for it, folks that are not really supportive of it. But underlying all of that are some very profound market trends, right? So if you look at the Fortune 2000, the 2000 largest publicly traded companies, 2/3 of those organizations have net zero carbon goals. So they want to be net zero by 2050. If you take a subset of that, we build a lot of different kind of buildings, including industrial logistics types buildings. 70% of those companies that are in the Fortune 500 are committed to net zero carbon. So we're seeing, and JLL, a big real estate company, has projected that by 2030 there's going to be a 60% supply gap to meet the demand for lower carbon space. So one of the kind of the creative tensions in the field right now is you have this market demand and for more sustainable, lower carbon buildings, and maybe we can touch upon resilience, which is a big trend in the space right now, climate resilience. So there's a big demand for lower carbon, higher resilience assets, and then you have building codes that aren't quite on par with where the market is going, and some would argue in some locations that the building codes are not on par with what the actual climate risks are at the local level. So there's some creative tensions in there, and I think whenever you see that, obviously there's an opportunity to innovate and to help create this value connection between, all right, how do we go above and beyond building codes to meet that market need in a way that is profitable to the developers involved, the investors involved, and then ultimately to the tenants that want to occupy that space. So that's a little bit of what's going on in the market. We can certainly talk about the climate risk world, because I think in what's the stat? In the last 5 years, commercial property insurance has gone up over 100% in some
Wow.
states. So we're seeing very significant increases in the cost of insurance. And we're talking mostly about physical risks. So think wildfires, hurricanes, flooding, droughts, heat waves, whatever it is. And that affects, in the world of real estate, that affects the developability of certain projects, that affects the construction phase, that affects the occupancy of that building. And so there's just increasing attention on how do we incentivize these higher resilience assets, because at the end of the day, the National Institute of Building Sciences would estimate that for every $1 you invest in the resilience of a building, you're saving $7 in costs down the road.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of that is a function of what's going on in the insurance world. So there's insurance gaps, limitations in coverages. And so, insurance isn't going to save you for all the expense when something does happen. So hopefully I've answered your question there, but there's a lot of moving pieces and there's a lot of opportunity for innovation in the space right now.
I'm hearing a lot at the conference about the importance of good data, and how has the information age and now the AI age advanced sustainability?
Well, it's an unfolding experiment. I think we're all trying to harness that. But, I think, in this broader world of digitalization, right, where you have hardware, software, and the smart AI technologies in there and hyper connectivity, it really does present an opportunity to have much more optimized buildings that can run much more efficiently, where all the equipment is talking to each other, and it knows what's going on in the building. It can handle the heating and cooling, and just get smarter and smarter and
Mm-hmm.
smarter. I think in the broader context, there's two other things. It's going to create opportunity, I think, for companies that want to meet the need for more sustainable assets, and when they figure out how to leverage AI technology to solve some of the problems. Material circularity and waste management is a big field there. And then I think I feel like I'm doing a little bit of prognosticating right now. So But I feel like the age of transparency is about to go into overdrive. And so I always talk to Therese in terms of this is what I think is happening. These are the positive things. Here are some of the things that I think some of your readers and viewers really need to understand is that, all of the data is, information is just going to be more available, more accessible. People are going to be able to connect the dots. So this is just going to be a transformative step forward in transparency. And I think companies need to be ready for their carbon footprints to be, completely available to everybody. So data everywhere, and we're going to get smarter in how we use it.
Ryan Companies is engaged in industrial, multifamily, office, a lot of property types. How are you seeing sustainability progress in the various property types?
Well, you have to take it by sector, right? So we do mostly industrial properties. We'll do e-commerce, logistics, mission critical data centers, food and beverage manufacturing plants, a wide range of industrial properties. And what you see in the industrial space is a very significant fraction of clients are committed to net zero carbon. And they really need developer, designer, builder partners that understand what they're trying to accomplish and more or less have their head in the game. So industrial is definitely in the lead when it comes to sustainability in this decarbonization sense. The office buildings seem to own the green building certification. We're at USGBC. That's always been a thing, and that's getting better and better as well. And so the office space has always had something going on. Healthcare seems to be a little bit in the middle. They're connecting dots to sort of the environmental health and patient health, and so they're playing with some of those thematics. And in an industry with very thin margins, a lot of times, they're very attracted to the cost savings that come from energy efficiency and some of the things that you can do to just drop overall operating expenses. So we try to play with some of those thematics for them. And then there's some sectors that I think are still trying to figure out their way in that space. Multifamily would be a good example. But depending on where you are, what we always say in sustainability is if you look at the location, the building type, and the climate, you have to do a sustainability opportunity assessment, because in some cases, we've done multifamily deals that are unfolding right now where we were able to it's in one of the project I'm thinking of now is in construction, but we estimate that we've put additional capital in to get the building to run on 100% renewable energy, and because of the cost savings that comes, the valuation of the asset is going to be significantly higher than what that investment was. So we can make a multifamily property very sustainable and make more money, which is what we really want to be doing with this.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah.
It was my pleasure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good to
Thank
spend
you.
time with you.